Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We just got back from a week-long vacation in Maine and it was absolutely amazing. We absolutely love coming up there, and it's been our summer tradition for the past 7 years, and it never gets old because there's just so much to do and so much to see in Maine. It is just our favorite place to go in the summer. So we have been going to Sun Retreats Wild Acres. I think it's been 2 years since they added Sun Retreats. It's always been called Wild Acres, and it's at Old Orchard Beach. I think the location is pretty good and it has so many great things, and I'll get into that a little bit more later. But this day we ended up arriving pretty late because we hit a lot of traffic. We picked up food, and I don't have the footage, but we grabbed food at Jumping Jake's. It is right outside, and we just kind of called it a night, to be honest. The next day we went to Portland Head Lighthouse, and of course once I'm here I have to stop and get lobster rolls here. It is Bite into Maine, and they're there pretty much every single day, probably throughout the summer season. I'm not sure how they do it in the spring and fall. So I got my blueberry soda and 2 lobster rolls that I shared with my mom. I think one was butter and one was with mayo, and you cannot beat this view. It is just amazing. After we finished our delicious lobster rolls, we walked around the park a little bit. I think this is called like the Cliff Walk. I could be wrong, I could be making that up. But no matter where you go, the views of the lighthouse are absolutely stunning. So we love to explore. But this park is so huge. There's so many areas. And if it's your first time coming here, on the other side of the park, there's a place called Children's Garden, I think. And it is just so precious and so beautiful. There's so many wildflowers there, and they have like a slide for the kids and a couple of like underground, not really underground, but like little tunnels for the kids, like teeny tiny tunnels. So it's really fun. So we ended our day here and we headed back to Wild Acres, and my son enjoyed the playground for some time, and then we checked out the arcade. We noticed that they have a couple of new games there, which was great. And then we went to pick up ice and some wood, and their convenience store, I mean, it's definitely a convenience store and things are pricey, but it is very well stocked. So if you need anything, they definitely have it. The next day we were at a Boothbay Harbor, which is about an hour and 30 minutes from Old Orchard Beach. We absolutely love coming here, and mostly because we go to Cabbage Island Clambake. It is such an incredible experience, so it's a must do for us every single year. I parked at that parking lot. There were like kiosk machines, and I think all in all it was $16, and it was fairly close. But if you have mobility issues or leg issues like my mom does, I actually dropped them down there by the pier over in this area, and then I took my little kid and we parked and then walked back. And when you book Cabbage Island Clambake, you have to make reservations months and months in advance. I think they open up either in February or March of the new year, and you make the online reservation. You don't pay anything when you first make it, and on the day of your reservation. They do tell you to come a couple hours in advance so you can pick up your tickets and of course pay for them, and they take cash or check only. They do have an ATM right around the corner over here, but it's very limited. So if you have like a large family, you're going to be taking out cash like multiple times, and the convenience fee of course is pretty hefty. So we got our tickets. Oh, and I should mention that if you don't eat seafood, you can get a chicken meal, and then if you have kids you can get a hot dog meal, and then if you have a child who's 12 and under, you can just do a boat ticket. You can also split a meal, so if there is a child and an adult, I think you get like a meal and a half, so then that way the child can have like one lobster or like another half a chicken or something like that. So there's definitely options, so when you do speak to them, definitely ask them and see what works for you. After that, we just walked around. We didn't really buy anything. We just wanted to check out their shops. It's very touristy. You know, we've seen it all. We've purchased things in the past like ornaments, magnets, shirts for the kids. At 4:45 p.m. they start letting people in onto the ferry boat, and the line actually lines up around 4 o'clock. Maybe there were even a couple of people there at like 3:45. You really don't need to be there so early. There is enough space for everyone, but I guess it's just a matter of preference, like where you want to sit, whether you want to go upstairs, whether you want to sit more in the front, in the back, by the window. So it's totally up to you. Once we took off, I think we had about a 35-minute journey. The captain tells you so much different facts and history as you keep going on your journey. The ferry also has like a little bar. I know they have some refreshments, they have some drinks like prosecco, wine. I think they have some hard liquor, chips, so you could definitely grab a drink, and they also have a bathroom in case you need it. And in no time we arrived at Cabbage Island Clambake, and my oldest son, he went to grab our table. There are lots of tables here. There's more open tables, lots of tables together, more private areas. So totally up to you, whatever you prefer. And they also have like a restaurant with a ginormous patio. So if it rains or you have just crappy weather or maybe chilly weather, you can also do that. Then we went here, and the guy was telling us that this day they had 322 lobsters, and he's been with the company for such a long time. I forgot his name, but he was really awesome. We had really great conversation. And then they also come around and offer you drinks. Of course, drinks are not included, so we had 2 bottles of prosecco, and then the kids had some soda. And then once you hear a bell or a horn, you know that it's time to line up and get your tray with your food. So this is what we did here, and it goes really quick. There's a guy who collects the tickets, and if you have multiple tickets, like he tells them ahead of time, like, you know, this trays, you have to stack them up, and so on and so forth. The lobsters are delicious. I mean, this is honestly the best. The way they steam them, you know, the whole story behind it, how they use seaweed, and their whole process just gives these lobsters such a great flavor. And of course, for a sweet treat, they give you this delicious blueberry cake. It is our favorite, so we definitely always enjoy. And of course, if you don't finish everything, you can pack it to go. So definitely bring a bag, even like a pack of ice. Once we were done eating, we went to explore the island a little bit. You can pretty much walk anywhere, so there's no major restrictions. It was beautiful, the sunset was nice, and then it was time to head back. And this is why I tell you, booking it during the sunset time in the evening, it is absolutely worth it. Like, this is just gorgeous views. The following day, we just kind of did nothing and stayed at our resort. So we are in one of these little cottages. My kid enjoyed the pool. And honestly, this is all that I recorded from this day, because the next day we drove out to Arcadia, to Bar Harbor. And that was a journey of, I think, about 3.5 hours from Old Orchard Beach. Again, it was such good weather, so there's a lot of street parking. I mean, we were there during a weekday, so there was a lot of parking. I don't know how it is during a weekend, but so I parked, I got a ticket, and don't worry, we had a rental, so I'm not exposing my plates to the whole YouTube fam. And we did that, and we headed to the Bar Island. I don't know what this car was doing, to be honest. I thought it was kind of like strange that they pulled up so close, but maybe this person had mobility issues, but I don't even know if it's allowed. It is what it is. I don't live here. So Bar Island is very interesting because when the tide is high, you can't cross to those islands in the far back, but once the tide is low, you have a couple hours to go back and forth. So that was really cool. But of course, when we were there in the morning, the tide was high, so we went to explore Bar Harbor, downtown area, like waterfront area, and then we went back later on, so I'll show you that footage later. Aiden found this super cool store. I think it's called Getty's Down Under. I think that's what it's called. Honestly, in all the stores we've been in Maine, this one had the most fun, unique, and different merchandise. And my son also loves to collect license plates from all the states, so he was here for 2 hours. So he definitely enjoyed. Like, there's just so many cool things here. So he definitely probably spent a good 30-40 minutes just exploring. And the girl that worked here at the register, she was just so sweet, so kind. We had great conversations and really good laughs. Right next door there was this lobster place. I think it's called Frenchman. Yes, there you go, Frenchman Bay Lobster. Though the lobster was delicious, but the customer service was a little iffy. I chose to pay cash, and I think when you pay by credit card, you're able to use their kiosk, and you know, you pay, you place your order, and then you just wait for your order. And I think the young guy that was working there, I think he was a little bothered that I had to bother him to take my order and to take cash from me, but it was still delicious. Listen, maybe he was just having a bad day. It is what it is. My son enjoys pizza, so we found pizza, and then we were on a hunt to find delicious french fries for my little guy. Sorry, this is like a little weird because I was trying to read the ingredients for the french fries, but we ended up eating here. Maine Chick is delicious. They actually have a really nice restaurant, and some people say it's like Chick-fil-A of Maine. And then we had it to Graffiti Donuts. I picked up this one donut. It was blueberry. Very delicious, but if you have nut allergies, please be careful, because I wanted to get a donut for my son, and I reconfirmed with a girl 3 times whether they have nuts in this Graffiti Donut bakery, and she said no. And once we got to the counter, it was a whole counter full of all sorts of nuts, so definitely just be careful. And after that, we headed back to Bar Island. So as you could see, we were able to walk back and forth. It was really nice. It was windy, but it was windy pretty much like the whole day. So anytime we were by the water, it was really windy. So if you're coming here, definitely pack a jacket, pack something for your kids in case they're cold. After this, it was time for us to head to Arcadia, and I was so excited. So our first stop was Jordan Pond, and it was breathtaking. It was everything and more. I wish we had more time to explore even more of this beautiful place, but we didn't because we also had reservations at Cadillac Mountain. So you just kind of have to, I think it's, you purchase a ticket to enter Arcadia. I want to say it's like $6 or $8. But if you want to go to Cadillac, there is additional fee, and it's also timed. So you have to go there during your reservation time. The park ranger told us that you can enter maybe a few minutes earlier. And you can enter a few minutes later, but you can't like show up 2 hours past your reservation time. They're not going to let you in. In the evening, once we made it back to Old Orchard Beach from Arcadia, we went to the amusement park, which is like right on the boardwalk at Old Orchard Beach. You know, to each its own. My kids had fun. They have some decent rides, some old rides, some mediocre rides, but my boys enjoyed. It's definitely pricey, but it's still, unless you're doing one ride, it's always worth to get the day pass. So for this year, summer of 2025, July of 2025, the day pass was $50. So they open at 4 o'clock, and they don't have a strict closing time. It just depends how busy or not busy they are. But we were here one day, I think till 11, and then one day till almost 12. So it is so much worth it getting the day pass than buying individual rides, because you're going to quickly realize that purchasing individual rides, it's just a waste of time. And if you're staying here for, you know, longer and you plan to come here more than 3 times, it is definitely worth to get their season pass, as what they call it. So if you come 3 times, you'll pretty much like break even, but if you make it another time, you won. So we pretty much closed this place. This was the arcade. It's ginormous. They have a lot of great games, and we didn't get to go there this time because we just focused on the rides. So this is what the streets look like. There's actually lots of police. They are on cars, they're by foot, they're on bikes. So I've never felt any kind of way. We walked. It's a little dark here, but I just wanted to show you like where we parked. It's right by the train station, so that's a kiosk that you pay. And that was our day. It was a very long day between Arcadia, driving there, driving back, and then still taking my kids to the theme park. So, but it was definitely fun. The next day, our resort, Wild Acres, was decked out for Christmas in July, which was such a nice surprise. And actually this day we went to pick up our golf cart. It was right there on the left, and I didn't want to rent it for the whole week because it's pricey. For the 2 days it cost me $178, but it's definitely fun and the kids enjoy it, and we do enjoy just driving around, looking at people's houses and decorations, because you do have people that stay here seasonally. So it's fun. This jumping pillow, it's a hit for so many kids. So my son spent some time there, and I ended up showing you the golf cart here. It's nice. They finally upgraded because they had older ones, but this one is definitely nice. Later on, we actually ended up going to the beach. That's how we ended up spending the rest of our day. So that was really nice. It was again windy. I just found it to be pretty windy this whole time. Anytime that we were by the water, it was one day, but it was still really nice and we enjoyed spending a few hours at the beach. Once we were back from the beach, we decorated our golf cart, and it just happened to be that we had like a Christmas themed lights, but I always bring fairy lights, Christmas lights, regular lights. I don't know. My kids enjoy it when I decorate it, but it actually just worked out for them to be Christmas related because it was Christmas in July. And these neighbors over here straight ahead, they decked out their cabins and they put so many lights on the trees. I'm going to show it to you a little bit later. I don't know why I didn't do a cabin tour, but I do have it from a couple of years ago. It's exactly the same. Nothing has changed there. So I will link it down below. Definitely check it out. This is my radio. I don't even know how old it is. It's probably as old as I am, to be honest. And here I'm just going to show you the table covers. Get them. If you are camping, glamping, whatever it is, and you're going to have a picnic table, get these covers with elastic. It's the best. The best. Look how good our golf cart looks. Amazing. And so we drove around looking like that. Oh, it was so good. And look at the neighbors. How amazing does that look? They did such a great job. Such a great job. This was our last full day here and the weather was gorgeous, so we ended up going back to the beach. I tend to go when it's low tide because it's just easier with kids. I was fascinated by these birds. Are they some sort of seagulls, like little seagulls? I don't know, but the way they were diving in and catching those itty bitty fish was really impressive, so I had to show you guys. Our dinner was from this place, what is it called? The Lobster Claw? Is that what it says? I can't even see it from far. Yeah, so it's fairly close to Sun Retreats Wild Acres. So I went here because Jumping Jake's was not operating on this day. So I figured we're gonna eat from here. The lobster was pretty good. The mashed potatoes and the slaw was delicious, and those tools are mine. So if you're a lobster lover or you're coming here for the first time, make sure you get yourself the lobster tools because it's hard. So later on we went back to the amusement park, and this is the ticket I'm just showing you. I think, was it like $2 an hour or something like that, or $4 an hour? I'm sorry, I already forgot. But we parked pretty much in the same spot, and then we walked to the amusement park, and it was a little bit busier because we were here a little bit earlier, but again, it was a beautiful day. It was our last day, so we just enjoyed. I again got them the day pass for the $50, so they went on the rides over and over and over again, so they had a really fun time. Again, there's lots of security. Like, I never felt any kind of way. It was safe. We had fun. There's so many children. That ride that's going up and down, it was right there in the right corner. My kids actually ended up getting stuck on that, but thankfully at the end, when it already stopped, it just wouldn't release them. But other than that, it was pretty uneventful. And we made it, unfortunately, to our last day. So we took the morning to just drive around the resort and just look at, again, people's decorations, people's houses, and it's just something that we enjoy doing. Then a little bit later, we returned the golf cart, we returned our bikes, we rent from a company, and you just leave them, hook them up with the lock, and then they come pick them up. And we packed up our cabin, cleaned everything up, took out the trash, and we were done. This resort is amazing. I've done many reviews and run-throughs, but if you guys have any questions, definitely leave it down in the comments below. And there's so many things that you can do here. You can rent a smaller cabin, you can rent a bigger cabin. There's so many themed activities during the summer. There's so many things for the kids to do. There's great playgrounds, multiple pools, hot tubs. It's fairly close to the beach. They definitely have houses for purchase. There's people who are camping. There's people who have RVs. There are dog friendly areas and cabins, and there's doggy parks. So it has you covered, and I think the location is conveniently located to so many great areas where you can still venture out and explore. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna have a little bit more content from Maine. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.